Meantime, we shall be looking at the International Day of the Girl Child. And like I commented at the beginning of the program, the girl child is so important that she actually has a day dedicated to celebrating her. The International Day of the Girl Child is celebrated annually on the 11th day of October. And the aims of the day are to promote the girl child's empowerment and the fulfillment of her human rights, while also highlighting the challenges that she faces. The theme for this year's anniversary is My Voice, Our Equal Future. Now, what does that mean? Well, we have people who are going to help us talk about this particular celebration and the meaning of this theme, which sounds a bit cryptic to me. My Voice, Our Equal Future. We have Mrs. Kemi Ojenike of Destiny Trust. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
We also have Kemi Olowojolu, Teen Guide Initiative.
Good morning.
Good morning. And from Abuja, we have Maryam Ahmed, girls' rights activist and youth ambassador of Save the Children International Nigeria. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Yes, let me begin with Kemi, Teen Guide Initiative. My Voice, Our Equal Future. What exactly does that mean?
So that's the theme that the UN has chosen for this year, as they have different themes every year. And this year, they want adolescent girls to speak up, to speak about the issues facing them, but to also speak about what makes them happy, what can be done about the plights of girls all over the world. So that's what My Voice, Our Equal Future. So it's about the girl child, the adolescent girl, using our voice to do something about the issues that are particular to every woman all over the world, using that voice to shape the future. And you see, it says our equal future. So you know that everywhere, all over the world, one of the issues that we face is that men and women, not to talk of boys and girls, are not seen as equal. Yes, we are different. But then, in our differences, do we see that the woman or the girl has equal potential to what the boy or the man has? And do we also make sure that this woman or this girl has access to the resources that the boy or the man has?
Mrs. Ojenike, we've been talking about the problems of the girl child for several years. And this is not the first celebration of the International Year of the Girl Child. Has there been any improvement in the plight of the girl child?
That's an interesting question. The truth of the matter is, yes, there's been a lot more advocacy, and I think mediums like social media has really helped in
advocacy.
Yes, okay. And in sort of escalating, amplifying the voice. But in actual terms, the question is, has there been real change? In the work that we do at the Destiny Trust, our focus is on vulnerable children, rehabilitating, empowering, rescuing vulnerable children, disadvantaged children, not just girls. Okay. However, we've been at this since 2012, and in our interactions, we have realized that girls are the most at risk because we go to slum communities, we get referrals, and more often than not, the girls are the ones that are most in danger. And why is that? There's, first of all, that cultural mindset where girls are put in a certain mold. They're expected to be in the kitchen. We have situations where between boys and girls, when there is a limited opportunity for education, the girl is usually passed up. The boy is considered the one who deserves the education. You know, we have cases where...
We can marry the girl.
Exactly. I mean, we have cases where we've gone into slum communities and we're literally begging the mothers to allow the children come to school. We would handle the process. And the mother say no because the girl child is set to be married. Before her father died, she had already been betrothed to someone. So that's the plan. And that's what they're working with. The father is late, but the mother is sort of bound by that arrangement. So there are many things that are working against the girl child, many things. There are many factors. You know, even in the families, you have cases where, again, the fathers are not usually present, but the mothers are stuck in tradition, they're stuck in a certain mold. So whether or not we have made progress, I would say we have a lot more to do. We have still a long way to go. But the conversations are encouraging. As long as we continue them and we continue to amplify them, hopefully we will see some substantial change at some point soon.
I must refer to the choice of words you're using. You began by saying advocacy. And then just now you said, what was the word you used again? The conversation.
Yes.
What about in concrete terms? Has there been no improvement at all?
Just hold your thoughts a bit. We'll just dash back to Sheol, who's on standby to let us know what's out. Sheol?
Standby. Standby.
Thank
you so much, and let's get back to talking to Mr. Larry Bankole, Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of investigation. Is going to give us an update on what has happened here today about the man who is said to have been injured. Thank you so much, Mr. Bankole. What can you tell us about the young man that was said to have been attacked or injured? Is he alive? Is it safe?
Yes, he's alive. He's in stable condition. I visited him at the police hospital where he's been treated.
What really happened? Can you tell us what exactly transpired?
Well, this morning, the victim, who is a registered voter at the polling unit where he was attacked, said that he was attacked by men that he could identify, and he has given us the details of those people who attacked him.
Was it a fight? Is it a gang fight? Is it a street fight? Is it what exactly led to that incident?
Well, investigation is ongoing. As soon as we conclude our investigation, we'll be able to determine what actually transpired. But what we have for now is that the man was attacked by people he could identify, and we are actually on their trial now to bring them to book.
So we heard gunshots, about a few shots that we heard just a few meters away from here. Were those from the police guns or from those attackers or from the man who is injured?
Well, certainly it couldn't have been the police. But the victim said he actually had machete cuts, which is what he's been treated for. So our investigation will reveal what really happened. Whether those gunshots were actually from the would-be assailants or not.
So you've not been able to arrest anyone about that incident?
Oh, we have two gentlemen, we have two men in our custody for now, and they're helping us with our investigation.
Okay. Let me get your view on what is happening in terms of adherence to protocols of COVID-19. You and I are putting on our face mask now, but if you see, the social distancing is not being observed right now. They started out by observing it, but at some point that fell out of the way. Your men are supposed to implement this. What has gone wrong?
Well, I think it has to be a persuasive issue now. Probably because of general tendency for people to believe that there's still no COVID. But as much as possible, we try to enforce that. But we don't want to do it at the detriment to the electoral process by saying, oh, police are the people who drove us away from carrying out our responsibilities. However, we will continue to appeal to them, because when I came, I could see that policemen were telling them, put on your mask, put on them, and that has made some of them to comply with that directive.
All right. Before we allow you go, Mr. Bankole, we heard that there was some violent situation also in some areas. What can you tell us? Are you on top of the situation, and where are these incidents?
Yes, reports from all over the state is that generally the election has been peaceful. The pockets of incidents we had the police have been able to curtail it, and we're actually on top of the situation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bankole, and I wish you the very best in this. I know it's not an easy task, but you guys have promised that you will deal with it. Thank you so much, Mr. Bankole. DCP investigation for the Nigerian police in Ondo State. Just before I hand over back to Alero and Nelta, let's speak with one of the election observer. Let's get an observer perspective to what is happening. Mr. Tanko joins us now to give us a perspective to what is happening. Mr. Tanko, thank you so much for joining us right there on Sunrise on Channel Television. What can you tell us so far from what you have seen?
Yes, what I observe is that there's an enthusiasm by the populace who want to vote. Those citizens are interested in voting. But there is a serious issue with regard to observation on the COVID-19 and social distancing. Probably what ought to have been done was that right from the gate, we should have been able to educate these people how they are going to go about it. And I also observed that there are people who are interested in causing problems. Thank you for the presence of the Nigerian police, who are there to really protect and ensure that things like this didn't go out of hand. So they must be alert. And there are serious insinuations that we have some of them who coming from other areas trying to become thugs. So we need to guide against that. But so far, so good. The election started on time, and the distribution materials were being distributed, and everybody is on the street trying to ensure that they voted for the candidate of their choice.
It's about 10 minutes to 11 o'clock now. If you compare this hour with what we saw in Edo, what are your thoughts?
Well, in Edo, it has gone far in terms of election, and there were people who were not so much standing on the queue at this particular hour. So we need to find a way of dislodging the people as quickly as possible. But probably the process of the COVID-19 putting testing the temperature and then putting the hand sanitizer on their hands may have slowed the process down. But then there's so much people on the voting area, and it's a little bit slow compared to that of Edo. It may take longer from my observation.
Minister Tanko, one of the observers here, thank you so much for talking to us. Nata, Alero, that is the situation right here. We are on the ground, the Nation Election Headquarters, the home for the news, Channel Television, of course. We're giving you updates and the scenario as it's playing out. It's back to you guys.
And we're back. It's about the girl child.
Yes, you were, we were talking about the conversation and the awareness, but in concrete terms. Have we not moved forward a bit?
I would say, like we were talking about, in terms of clustered impact, the awareness has caused some change. You know, you have more of a focus on these matters, you have more programs being organized, you have more benefits being provided for the girl child. But in terms of a widespread acceptance and understanding of the fact that the girl child is not inferior, the girl child not only deserves, but in the benefit of society should get the same opportunity as the boy child. I think in terms of that widespread acceptance, we still have a long way to go. It's the reason why we're still having a lot of these conversations, why we're still talking child marriages, we're still talking access to education, we're still talking some of these cultural biases that end up putting the girl child at a disadvantage.
Maryam, is it not surprising that in the 21st century, we're still talking about people who don't allow their girl child to go to school?
Oh yeah, it's very surprising because it's the 21st century. But let's not forget the fact that Nigeria and other African countries are very traditional, have very traditional people. Nigeria has very traditional people and religious people. So, you know, all those things that have been happening before, all those cultural norms of, you know, the girls getting married at a very young age, women not having a say at the table, women not just agreeing to whatever is being decided for them by the men. So that has continued. That's like a chain of, you know, all these bad practices going on even before we were born, continuing. And because we are, like I said, a very cultural and religious country, we hold on so much to our norms. And that, unfortunately, women not having a voice, girls not having voices has become the norm, which is unfortunate. So what we need to do is to sensitize people in rural communities, and traditional and religious leaders are also very key in sensitizing people in, you know, grassroots communities, because, like I said, we hold our tradition, our culture, and our religion really dearly. So we need to have the traditional leaders on our side, so that, because they are the traditional leaders, they are the leaders in those communities. And believe it or not, whatever they say, people follow. So we need to have them on our side. We need to have them also talking to their communities and, you know, sensitizing them on the importance of girls and women also having, you know, voices in their society, and also deciding for themselves what they want in their lives.
You know, Miriam, there's this thing that's out there, and some people wonder if it's not being overemphasized. The rights of the girl child, if that is not even helping to, how do you put it now? Helping to put the girl child under pressure.
Well, actually, there are laws that protect the rights of children. There's the Child's Rights Act. It's been, you know, domesticated in some countries, but not, in some states, but not all states in Nigeria. So it can't be a law unless there's a specific number of states that have to pass it into a law before it becomes a national law. The Child's Rights Act has, you know, all the laws that protect children, every single thing, all the aspects of a child's life is being protected by the Child's Rights Act. So what needs to be done right now is for those states who have not domesticated the Child's Rights Act, that's mostly in the northern part of Nigeria, they need to domesticate the Child's Rights Act and also make sure that it's properly, not only implemented, but properly implemented.
Then say something about. Okay.
I think in addition to what she said, and in response to your question about the fact that the emphasis on the rights of the girl child is perhaps
putting more pressure on the girl child.
There's a reason. There's a need for the emphasis. There's a reason why the rights of the boy child, like she said, we have child's rights, right? Mm-hmm. And there's a reason why the rights of the boy child are not being emphasized so much. It's because there's a problem that needs to be addressed. There's a challenge. The fact that either these rights, in some cases, are not even applicable because they haven't been domesticated, or where they are applicable, they are not being adhered to. There's that suppression, which is to our general detriment, to be honest, because it's not really a sentimental or an emotional decision. It's not that, oh, she's a girl, let me respect her. It's for our collective benefit. The truth of the matter is the girls are human. The girls have a lot to bring to the table. But when we cut short their opportunity, when we put them at risk, when their future, their education is cut short because of things like early marriages, early pregnancies, and we accept it as the norm, we're doing ourselves a great disservice. Let's think of all the countries that are being ruled by women right now and how well they are doing in the face of the current pandemic. Imagine if those girls, or those women as girls, were cut down. They got pregnant at 13, they were married off. They couldn't go to school because there was a brother that the society
or even after being married, when they finished giving birth,
there was
no
chance. Exactly. They had no skills. They were not able to empower themselves. There was no opportunity. Just imagine that alternate reality. It's not for the benefit of the girl only. It's not a selfish. We need to start thinking about it from a holistic perspective, that we are cutting ourselves short by not amplifying and actually implementing the rights of the girl child.
Kemi, what happened to Beijing? Beijing is what? How many years ago now?
30, I think.
Can you imagine?
I think, but I don't think it's out of the context that we're talking about. Things like a day like October 11 has come out of those conferences.
Okay.
And so I'm in full support of what they've been talking about, advocacy. And I was talking with Kemi earlier on. I said, I looked forward to this because I heard someone speak about the rights of the girl child. Now, I was in that camp that would be like, oh, rights of the girl, what of the boy, and there's so many people talking about that. But I was in a meeting and a clergy, the pastor of a church started to talk about the girl child and opened our eyes to see how she's been disadvantaged, how culture has shaped her to behave the way that she behaves today. And just like you were talking about pressure, sometimes, for instance, like this year's theme that says, my voice, equal future. What about that girl who doesn't really feel like talking? Does she feel pressured? And that's why I want to tell girls that you don't have to rise up to anybody's expectation. You don't have to be shaped by what people think of you. Inside every girl is a special potential that, as Kemi was talking about, the whole is it's for a collective benefit, for the benefit of all. And if that is not allowed to show, or if that is not nurtured, we all stand the risk of being disadvantaged in the long run. So, like I was talking about, I was in that meeting and my eyes opened like, oh, the girl has been disadvantaged. We should all speak up. And if there's anything that I want to do today is to ask leaders and everyone who has who has some kind of influence to speak up. Like Maryam said, the leaders, the chiefs, they have to, not just the adolescent girls speaking up for herself. We all need to. So what did I do after hearing that talk by the clergy in church? I went back to look at my youth group and I noticed what I had not seen before. Most of the boys, most of the attendance is by boys. And then I started to think, I started asking, where are the girls? They didn't want to come, no. And then I asked about a particular girl. And by the time I asked her more questions, I found out that her father did not want her to come because they didn't trust what she was saying. Meanwhile, the boys are being allowed to go out easily. And when they're allowed to go out like this, they develop skills. The boys in our youth group were developing more skills. And this girl was lagging behind. What did I have to do? I had to book an appointment with her parents. And they gave me audience. They even called an auntie, and it was like a meeting. And they're like, look at that picture she took. A boy had his arms around. And I said, ma, sir, you're going to see more photos and get ready. And these photos don't mean anything. And this place is to empower. And if you keep shutting her, if you keep making her stay at home without having the same opportunities, and this is what we're talking about. The guys were increasing in their skills and she didn't have them. So just to cut the long story short, we stayed there for about 2 hours. They were asking questions, I was answering, and they could say, and at the end of the day, she was allowed to come back. Not just come back. Right now, she's being mentored by an adult, a woman, and she's learning a particular skill. So we need to speak for all of us. Each one of us needs to stand up for the rights of the girl child.
My problem right now is whatever happened to that saying, educate the girl child and you educate a nation.
I think that saying didn't make it past our cultural biases.
It's not a Nigerian saying.
It just didn't make it. If it was contemplated, perhaps in really small circles, or it just wasn't considered important enough. And another thing that I would say, at least drawing from what Kemi has said, is the fact that when there are days like this, and there are issues like this, and they're mostly championed by only women, there's the tendency to see it as, yes, another one of the many things, a woman thing. We need to change that. We need to show that there is a buying, a collective buying into this concept, that it's not a gender-based ideology. It's a necessary thing for our communities to thrive. We need men.
Yes. You. Many of the men out there, and I can speak for the one sitting right here beside me, have daughters, and they do not want to see their daughters go through all this you're talking about.
And that's fantastic.
Am I wrong, Mr. Egbe?
No, definitely not.
Definitely
Not my daughter, not my sister, not my friends,
Exactly.
not any woman
Niece,
around.
anyone.
Because I do believe that besides, okay, well, this is how I say it. I say, when the man is as strong as he stands, the truth is that his strength is from the woman. Now, some men will shoot me for saying this, but hey,
But you are speaking the truth.
The truth is that no man is strong on his own. Well, we might have all the muscles, but there's someone pressing the button somewhere. It might be the mother, it might be the sister, it might be the wife, it might be the girlfriend, but there's someone pressing the button.
And invariably, it's a woman.
And it's a woman most times. So, but Maryam, so how is it that women or the girl child has so much power, but that power is not evident in her empowerment or her voice being heard?
I think that still has to do with, you know, the community she grew up in and how, you know, the norm has always been us being at the background. But what people fail to realize is that by educating the girl child, you expose her to more opportunities. You expose her to more opportunities. She gets, you know, it doesn't become hard for her to get a job, because if a girl is not educated, it's either they marry her off to someone way older than her at a very young age, and her, you know, she's a child. Her body is not yet ready to, you know, go through that whole the pregnancy and the childbirth, and that's why there's a lot of maternal and child mortality. Again, she's not educated. If you remember, they took the boy to school instead of the girl, so she's not really educated and doesn't really know what to do in those situations. Now, let's say, for example, the parents now marry her off at a very young age and she's not educated and she gets pregnant, and, you know, maybe she's in labor, but she doesn't even know that, and she doesn't know what to do in those situations. And then she goes to the hospital and can't communicate clearly with, you know, the nurse or the doctor because she's not educated. You know, I say this all the time, that education is the key to eradicating many of the issues that girls are facing today. Now, if a girl is educated, she would, let's say by the time she finishes secondary school, she's like 17, 18, which is the adult age. So that now educating a girl now, you know, delays the time that, even if her parents want to marry her off, it delays that till, you know, when she's done with school. It also gives her equal opportunities as the boys. She gets to have a job. She becomes skilled, and even if she even if she doesn't have a job, she's equipped with skills that, you know, she can use to make money. So many issues that girls are facing today, I believe, can be, you know, eradicated just by educating a girl child. You know, you're unlocking her potential. And yeah, it's very important for girls to be educated because we have that power. We need to be empowered to decide for ourselves.
Maryam,
we need to be educated so that we can make, yes.
Okay, Maryam, we'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll look at, when we say education here, because some will say, okay, I'm done with school, but yet the kind of education that is required or they need is not really there. So are there other forms of education we can use? I'm looking at the low-hanging fruits that we can use, especially so that we begin to hear the women. I know women are breaking barriers around the world, so let's see how we can push through in all of this. Well, that will be in a moment. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. Well, we're on break and we're having a very interesting conversation about how this whole process can start. I know when Maryam was talking, we talked about when she was ending, I was saying something about education. Does it really have to be through school? There are other ways that we can actually educate the girl child to the point that she grows to build the nation. But Larry, you're going to say something.
Yeah, that's the question I was going to bring to Kemi.
Okay.
That education, does education have to be school? can she not learn a skill even at a young age?
You are absolutely right. She can, and just like we were having such a good time in the video, in the studio just before we came back, you know, we're talking about these things, and every parent should encourage the girl, the boys, but right now we're talking about the girls, to learn a skill. And just like the story I was telling you about, now that girl is learning a skill because she was advocated for, and we go back to advocacy. So yes, so schooling is formal education, but there's something called non-formal education, and there's something called informal education. Informal education is your home with your parents, and you're learning from them. You're making sure. The non-formal education is organized, and so that's what you're talking about, learning a skill. Girls can learn anything, and this is where we say again, don't let anybody make you into a stereotype like girls have to learn this type of skill. I wish I could show you pictures from our youth group and you see the girls behind the cameras, you know, see girls learning different, nobody.
The best chefs are men. I've never seen a female chef.
They
Even though at a young age you are told that as a girl your place is in the kitchen. When it comes to real cooking, it's the men who do the real cooking. Surprisingly.
I have a friend, like, when you get to their house, most times it's the guy who gets on the kitchen, and that says something to their children, that the kitchen, it's not just for the female. And chores, I read somewhere that 160, girls do 160 million hours more chores, or spend more time. So they had the statistics, 160 million more hours doing chores than boys. And it gets back to what you were talking about. So the girls are always doing chores at home. The boys gone out to learn mechanic, how to be a mechanic, how to do
but
this.
But the boys also have to at least clean their rooms, make their beds.
Absolutely. They need mothers like his mom.
The thing is, okay, so I cook. When I'm in the kitchen. When I'm in the kitchen, my son wants to be there. He's seeing. So it's examples. What examples are they seeing? My daughters want to see what's daddy cooking. How can I help and all of that. But in doing all of that, there's still that part of how do you get them to be involved?
What do you mean?
Again, so when I said that this focus that seemed to be on the girl child, is it not putting so much pressure on the girl child to stretch, to break through the barriers and to achieve? I know that, to aspire.
I have something to say about that. But
maybe I should just continue. So the pressure on the girl child would be significantly more when she's not in an enabling environment. For instance,
and Maryam said that.
Imagine a girl child from your household, for instance. If she hears about, breaking glass ceilings, reaching, aspiring for the greatest things, she probably won't feel pressure because it's not something she's unfamiliar with. Because, and the point I'm trying to make is, if, like you said, the girl child has seen an example, even the boy child has seen an example, that first of all, there is no one that is better than the other. Everyone needs to aspire for the best that they can be. She would not feel pressure. Imagine the one that comes from a home where girls are not regarded, where the only example she's seen is one of her mother being battered, where she's being told she needs to be in the kitchen. Of course, these ideas seem like they are so far-fetched. And that's what we need to do. We need to bring these ideas home. And it starts with a mindset at the end of the day. It's a mindset issue. You know, if a father, the closest person, perhaps a father and a mother sometimes, because even mothers sometimes, we need to correct some of those mindsets that they have grown up with. If the closest people that influence you, that support you, do not see the point in you being empowered, certainly it will be a struggle. It will be a serious struggle.
Now, I need for you all to hear this. This is from Generous. And these issues of a girl child, as far as I'm concerned, only lingers among poor families. No rich family will prefer a male child to a girl child in terms of education. So no well-to-do middle-class family, for instance, would rather send their male child to school and leave their daughter at home. That's what he's saying. Maryam, can I have your comment on that, please?
Well, I think middle-class families already are knowledgeable about the importance of education because they themselves were most likely educated. So they would understand and they know the importance for both the boy child and the girl child to be educated. But for the low-income earning families, they have, you know, healthcare to worry about, they have food to worry about, they have shelter to worry about, clothing to worry about. So they have so much pressure. They have so many things to take care of, which they can't take care of everything. So they feel, because again of their culture and what they grew up, the mindset they grew up with, they believe, you know, the boy child is more of it's a better investment than the girl child, because if we educate the girl, that's what they feel. If they educate the girl, she would eventually get married, and the parents and the family wouldn't be the ones to, you know, enjoy the benefits of her education. It would be her and her husband and her kids. So they feel that if they educate the boy, when he grows up and he has his own family, he would also, you know, give them benefits and his own family benefits.
Yes, a 16-year-old 2 days ago, I said, "Oh, I'm going to be here, and tell me, I want to hear what you have to say." And she wrote this, but then also, I said, "Speak to me." She said, "Our father once told her that it's better to spend money on her younger brother because she will forget him, and that she will soon get married, and so, you know, she doesn't really need to be educated beyond GSS 3. So Maryam is spot on that.
Another fallacy.
Oh, yes.
Well, I was told that
it's the girls that actually
always
take care of
remember
their parents.
Exactly.
Actually, yeah, I told her that's something I've not heard before, about a man saying that she would not. But I think it was based on he also said that you will soon get married, and so there is no need. And Maryam, she's spot on that, because really, when they're thinking of allocating resources, they're feeling like, hey, the boy, this
one
girl
is a waste of money.
You know, we should actually do something about International Day of the Man-Child, so that we can tell men that wait, so that we can tell men that they are the ones setting the examples that their daughters will be looking to for husbands and boyfriends and all
we
of
do that on the International Day of the Girl Child. We need that conversation.
So, now, we're running out of time now.
Yes.
So, what plans are in place for this International Day of the Girl Child?
Okay.
Well, this can be.
Okay. Okay, so from my end, in our organization, the Destiny Trust, we have a center, actually, where we house about 32 children, and it's also a learning center. So for the day, we do plan to have conversations, like meaningful conversations with them on just this mindset, and the mindset the girls need to have for success, the mindset the boys need to have. But beyond the day, we actually realize that, again, like I said, because it's a mindset issue, it takes time to shift a mindset. So that conversation needs to be consistent. It cannot be limited to a day. So it's a conversation we try to have consistently. First of all, do not think because you are stronger, for instance, than a girl, you can bully her. Bullying is actually a sign of weakness. Do not think, oh, because there's a girl around, I shouldn't participate in taking care of the house. That's actually really wrong. And then we try to show them, reinforce positive examples of men that are successful, accomplished, but really respect their wives, respect the women, and actually show it in their day-to-day. So our focus for the day is to amplify a conversation we're already having. The fact that, first of all, to the boys, they are not subordinate to you. You're not better because you're a certain gender. You all have the same opportunities. You need to pursue your opportunities, and you need to realize that they can actually do much better than you if you continue to slack. And then for the girls, it's sort of dealing with that negative mindset of some of the things they've heard before, some of the things they've seen, and to just emphasize the fact that the sky really is your starting point. Not from a sentimental, it's a factual matter. There is literally nothing that you cannot do if you set your mind to it.
Whether you're a boy or a girl.
Okay, so may I? Okay, so for me, I have two girls at home, and I intend to talk to them. You know, I intend for us to have a family conversation. And I'm saying this because I want everyone listening to us, I want them to start the conversation, stop the discrimination, start the conversations that empower girls, that empower women. And on our social media handle at Teen Guide Africa, we would also, like I was talking to you about this, so we'll have the girls use their voice to speak about the plight of girls. She's written a lot here. We can't start, like what Kemi talked about, bullying and all that, and what she prays that every girl child will have the opportunity. She prays that every girl child will have the opportunity to release her dream, discover her potential, look within and see that she has true value, true worth, not just what the society wants of her, but what she wants of herself, what she desires.
Maryam?
Well, as a Save the Children Youth Ambassador, I'm always, spot on talking to policymakers and decision makers, both in Nigeria and outside of the country, to encourage them to, also lend their voices and empowering the girl child. But in terms of what we're doing for the International Day of the Girl, Save the Children has been working in partnership with a school in Gwagwalada Secondary School, and we have a club. It's called the Child Rights Advocacy Club. So as a youth ambassador, I wrote a song. It's called Shooting Star, and it's going to be launched. I think it has been launched either today or tomorrow, the International Day of the Girl, which, the song is very personal because I wrote it with the mindset of empowering girls, empowering children, that they can be what they want to be. So we also have many activities lined up for the rest of the week, throughout the week, like social media takeovers and, just having talks with the children in the Child Rights Advocacy clubs and also other activists as well. So that's very exciting.
Very much. Maryam,
I was going to ask her to sing the song. But don't worry.
We've run out of time completely. Maryam Ahmed, girls' rights activist and youth ambassador, Save the Children International Nigeria, Abuja branch. And she joined us from our studio in Abuja. And in Lagos, we had two Kemis, Kemi Ojenike of Destiny Trust and Kemi Olowojolu Teen Guide Initiative. Thank you all very much.
Thank you for having us.
Happy International Day of the Girl Child to you all. And that's tomorrow. Okay. Sunrise will be right back with the home stretch. Do stay with us since you've stayed this long.